Welcome back. Empathy and sympathy are really two words that often get mixed up and intertwined. While sympathy is the ability to feel sorry for another person, empathy is the ability to see through another person's eyes and feel with them. In an age of teasing and bullying, developing empathy in children has never been more important. So such an interesting clarification there that I didn't realize the difference between sympathy and empathy. We have developmental psychologist Dr. Marti Erickson is here, and she has ways that parents and people can help people around them understand and really, work and live in that space of empathy. Right.
And Belinda, this starts so early. It starts in infancy. And babies, actually, we have discovered in recent years of research, really can feel empathy and demonstrate empathy at very early ages. And so it's never too soon for parents to think about this.
So it's innate. It's innate.
Well,
it's something
the capacity to develop it is innate. However, you have to have certain experiences and certain opportunities to learn to really be able to apply that, especially beyond people that are very familiar to you. Because we all tend to feel empathy more easily with people we perceive as being similar to us. We live in a very diverse world these days, and so at early ages, it would behoove all of us to become very familiar with all the diverse people who are part of our communities and our country. So it's a complicated thing in a way, but there are simple things that can really make a difference in your families, in your schools, faith communities, wherever your children are, whoever you are.
So if someone near and dear to your heart is going through something with you talk through your child and say, hey, how do you think that person feels?
Yes.
Can you imagine how she is feeling this evening?
Yes, really intentionally kind of bringing that out. That means, you have to really learn how to do that yourself too and ask yourself those questions. And maybe when you're angry with somebody, maybe they've done something, really, really bad, or they've angered you in some way. It's still very important to feel empathy for them so that you can respond in a way that isn't just escalating and retaliating. So this really affects all kinds of relationships and world peace for that matter.
Yeah, on a much bigger scale.
It's a big thing.
Because kids in general, I have two teenagers, they're egocentric, right? They're thinking about themselves a lot. You have to remind them to look around, right? But model it yourself. So actually, talk about it. Do things for others so that they understand you're trying to help others get through something, right?
Well, and especially let them see how you handle difficult situations, because if it's a friend or somebody that you respect, it's much easier to feel empathy. But we really have to take this to the next level where we can see through the eyes of people who are different from us and who might offend us at times, and then move from that point forward. You want them to develop empathy for you and you for them. Babies are born egocentric. We all are born egocentric, but that gradually changes. We develop the capacity to be empathic, and then that requires modeling and teaching as we go forward.
And you're saying everyday interactions. Think about it, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So, you want to show your child empathy when they're very young. So that's the first thing they're learning. If you're showing them empathy, by the time a baby is 9 or 10 months old, when you're looking sad, or if they see you crying or being upset, a baby will often, put their hand on your face or pat you on the back. We see this with mothers and babies where they have this nice attachment to each other, and the baby's giving back what that baby has already received at times when they need comfort. And then the example you're setting, both with the child and in all kinds of other situations, how you talk about people that you're upset with can reflect empathy or not.
That's so true. Absolutely. And so and final note here, you said there's a lot of books on this where you can read.
Just reading storybooks to children, watching movies with your children, and then pausing and saying, how do you think that character feels? What do you think that person is going to do? What would be an empathic thing they could do? Teach your kids that word. Young kids love to learn new words, and help them know what that is, and then bring it into your discussions when you're watching movies or reading books. Just a lot of ways you can do this, but modeling, specifically teaching, and then recognizing it when you see it. I love the way you really understood your friend's feelings, even though she made you very angry.
Yeah. Oh, such good points, and such good things to work on. That's for sure. With all the parents out there thinking, "Oh my goodness."
Yeah.
So, is your podcast is centering on this?
Yes, it is. Dr. Megan Gunner, who's a rock star at the University of Minnesota, did a podcast with us. That's our featured one this week, and this was done for Help Me Grow, the early childhood screening system in the state of Minnesota. They were the supporters of that, but it's a really nice piece, just talking about the research on how empathy develops and why it's so important.
Oh, well, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming in and talking about that this morning.
Well, glad to be here.
Such
Always.
an important subject. You can find more parenting advice on the Mom Enough website and podcast. New episodes come out every Monday. We have a link on KARE11.com. Well, coming up